This Omar Fateh, the guy running for mayor against Jacob Fry, who's also terrible, in Minneapolis, you mentioned, if you wake up at a time capsule and see this, you think you were in Somalia. And here is a bit of that. I mean, it's really kind of remarkable. Waving the Somali flag. Watch, we pulled a soundbite of it.
Somalia, Hiran State, Mawisle. Early voting was Hadda illa November 4. I need your vote.
What is this? Is this America or is this Somalia? You love Somalia so much, go home. It's just like Ilhan Omar. They're coming over here, and as Trump would say, they're not bringing their best. I saw you propose on your show recently that there should be a rule that if we look past, 10 years or so, go look back, and there's some country that's sending a bunch of their citizens over here, and more than 10% of those folks are on the public dole. No more immigrants from those countries. Stay home.
Yeah, I call that, you can kind of set the threshold wherever you want. It's a little bit arbitrary, but let's just call it the 10-10 rule. And if 10% of the immigrants from a certain country, first or second generation, are on the public dole or on food stamps or on a welfare program, then we cut off immigration from that country for 10 years. And I think it's actually pretty generous. It's a high threshold. I mean, you could certainly argue for setting it at 5% or even 1%, and then making the, the time when we shut off immigration could be 50 years rather than 10. But I'm being very reasonable, very generous, setting it there. I think, hey, we do currently, and for a little bit longer, we have this window now where we actually do, as conservatives, as Republicans, we control Congress and the White House. And so, hey, I mean, maybe someone could pick up this mantle and run with it. And when it comes to Somalis in particular, and I don't know what the exact numbers are, how many Somali immigrants are on welfare. I'm sure that it's much higher than 10%. It's much higher.
Same.
But someone could look up the numbers. And it raises this question about, and I've been asking this because I'm a simple man. I ask simple questions. It's kind of my thing. So I would really like someone to explain, why are we importing Somalis into this country at all? Like, why are we doing that?
How's that good for us?
We've imported a lot of them to the point where now they're basically taking over a once great American city right in our heartland, Minneapolis. And why are we doing that? How does that benefit America? I'd like someone who agrees with this to explain to me how it benefits America to import Somalis. Because when you look at Somalia, and this is why it's so funny that the Somalis come here like Ilhan Omar, like you say, and then express all this pride in their country. Well, their country is a hellhole. I mean, it's a failed state. It is an absolute disaster zone. That's why they come here in the first place. And then what do you find? Well, when you take people from a failed state, a total catastrophe, totally dysfunctional. You take people from an absolutely dysfunctional region of the world, and you bring them here. What do you find? Well, you find dysfunction here. You've imported the dysfunction here. And so why are we doing that? How does that benefit us? And whenever I ask this question, mostly it's ignored, but if anyone attempts to answer it, they always give answers about how it benefits Somalia. They always tell me that, well, it's nice for Somalis that they're able to come here. Do you really want to tell them that they can't come here? Wouldn't that be mean? Isn't that cruel? Well, that's not what I asked, though. I said, how does it benefit us? What does it do for me? What does it do for you? What does it do for your family sitting around the dinner table, wherever you live, to import Somalis into this country? And if the answer is it doesn't benefit us at all, well, then I think that we shouldn't need the 10-10 rule. That's enough reason right there to just cut off that spigot entirely, because we should be having policies in this country that benefit our country first and foremost.
If we don't do that, we're going to be London. We're going to wind up like Germany. We're going to have the same problems that they're having now with their cities, their most beloved cities, being overrun by Islamists whose values are completely antithetical to those of the West. I mean, you tell me, Matt, what is the solution to preventing our great American cities from falling in the way we've seen London fall, where there are calls to take down the British flag now because it's triggering to all the Islamists?
Well, the only solution is what we've talked about, is you have to cut it off. You have to cut off the spigot. You have to just turn it off. And we have to greatly raise the bar for who we allow to come into this country. We have to have some real pride in our country. the way that these immigrants apparently have pride in their homeland, and they wave the flag and they talk about how great their country is. And in a certain way, I want to say, like, in a certain way, I admire that part. Like, I admire if you're a patriot for your home country, and if you can love your country, even if it's a total cesspool, even if it's just an absolute hellhole, you still love it. I admire that. Like, that's loyalty to your country. I admire it. Now, so I think you should go home and have that kind of loyalty for your country. In fact, if you love it so much, then go home and try to fix it. And that's the other thing too. I know this is a little bit sidetracked, but if we're being told that, oh, well, we're importing Somalis, but we're importing the best ones. We're importing the best Somalis. Well, I don't know that there's any evidence of that, and I don't know what qualifies as the best Somali. But if we are, then if you really care about Somalia, I mean, I don't, but if you do, then that's all the more reason to not bring them here. Send them back. Like, why are we importing the best ones? Yeah. Let the best ones go back to their country and fix their country if they're so great. I mean, if they can contribute to our country, if that's your claim, they can help build our country. I don't really see that they are, but if they can, well, then what could they could work wonders in their own home country. So for their own country's sake, you should send them back. But anyway, having patriotism for your homeland, I support that. I think every person should love their country. And so we should love ours, and we should have pride in it. And we should have an attitude that says, look, coming here is a privilege. You don't have any right. You have no right to come here. It's like there's 8 billion people in the world. Do they all have a right to come here? I mean, it's impossible. We can't have them all. So you don't have a right to it. It's a privilege. And so if we're going to let you come here, you got to prove to us that you have something to offer us. Yes, as Americans, right, we should have the attitude, be a little bit selfish as Americans, selfish for our country, and say, what's in it for us? Before we bring in someone from Somalia or anywhere else, or Uganda, what's in it for me? What's in it for my family? I got my American family. We've lived here our entire lives. My children were born here. What's in it for them to bring you in here? That's my question, and that's the question we should all be asking. And when we have that attitude, then it becomes obvious. Okay, we just have to. It doesn't mean that we can never have another immigrant into this country ever again. Now, I tend to think that there should be an immigration moratorium, that we should just shut it off for a period of time, but not forever.
We're at our limit.
Right, we're at our limit, but eventually you're gonna open it up again. And when you do that, I think we need to greatly raise the bar for who we allow in.
Yeah, and I think the other part to this is we have to get honest again about what Islam is and what its tenets are, and whether this is actually the profile of the future leaders we want in our American cities. I mean, just take an honest look at it and not be shamed by the made up term Islamophobia. That is not a thing. You are allowed to criticize Islam. There's absolutely no problem with it. It's a political doctrine as much as it is a, quote, religion. And it's absolutely subject to being criticized. And who cares if you get called an Islamophobe? I mean, that's whatever. We've all been called worse. Did you know gold is up around 40% this year? That's not speculation, it's reality. And if a portion of your savings is not diversified into gold, you're missing the boat. Here are the facts. The US dollar, still too weak. The government debt, still growing. This is why central banks are flocking to gold. They're the ones driving prices up to record highs. But it's not too late to buy gold from Birch Gold Group and get in the door right now. Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. You don't pay a dime out of pocket. Just text MK to 989898 and claim your free info kit. There's no obligation, just useful information. The best indicator of the future is the past, and gold has historically been a safe haven. So text MK to 989898 right now to claim your free info kit on gold. MK to the number 989898. Protect your future today with Birch Gold. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.